My husband pushed me when I asked him about a weird text he received and refused to show me his phone. I am unsure what to do now. My account has a large following and my 38F husband 40M is one of my followers. I had to create a throwaway account to post this. I will keep it short and with few details as possible to avoid being identified. My husband and I have been married over 10 years. The last several years have been very, very difficult for us. We had been trying to conceive and failing, and this put a lot of stress on our marriage. I have been very vocal and public about our fertility struggles offline and online. After many rounds of IVF, I finally became pregnant and I am currently in my second trimester. From the beginning, the pregnancy has been really rough on me. I had severe morning sickness, high blood pressure, and my pregnancy was considered high risk. Our marriage has been under a lot of stress, and this is exacerbated by the fact that we haven't had sex once since I got pregnant, mostly because I feel completely shitty most days. Earlier today, my husband's phone kept pinging with notifications. I instinctively picked it up to see who it was messaging him. The messages were from a female friend of his. She is a relatively new friend. From what I briefly saw before he walked into the house, he had been taking out the garbage and snatched the phone from my hands. It seemed he had been complaining about me and our sex life to this friend. I confronted him and asked him to open the message so I could read what he'd been saying about me. He got really angry and pushed me hard when I tried to take the phone back from him and I fell on the floor. He immediately apologized and helped me get back up, and I could tell he felt really bad. When I again tried to ask him about the message, he still wouldn't show me the phone, kept deflecting, saying it was nothing, he was just complaining to a friend that the pregnancy has been difficult and that was all. I am not convinced. The texts that I saw briefly were more than what he was letting on. He refused to show me his phone for proof on the grounds of we need to have trust. I know he doesn't across that way in this post. But he really is a good, loving, and supportive husband. He has never laid a hand on me. But I can't deny the uneasy feeling I have following his actions. Update. Here is an update to my previous post. I planned on going to the hospital for a checkup when he was out. He caught wind of my hospital visit plans and insisted he comes with me because he didn't want me going alone, saying he was worried about me and the baby. He was with me the entire time, so I couldn't say anything to the nurses or doctors. Baby is doing okay, but my blood pressure was high and I was recommended to go on bed rest. I am back at home now. He's been complaining and making remarks about how hard this pregnancy has been the entire time. It is incredibly frustrating to hear him complain, but after yesterday I don't want to push his buttons, so I'm keeping quiet about all of it, the phone text included. When he left to the gym, I called my OBGYN's clinic and left a voicemail explaining the truth behind my fall today. I probably won't hear back until tomorrow at the earliest. Update 2. I left and I am safe. I just wanted to start off my post with that because I know many of you are worried about my well-being. Trigger warning: if you have abuse trauma, please skip the first paragraph. After he went to sleep last night, I began gathering and packing essential documents as some of you suggested. Even though I thought I was moving quietly, he woke up and asked what I was doing. I told him I couldn't sleep, so I decided to pack essentials as I thought it might be useful in case we ever needed to go to the hospital again for an emergency. He agreed it was a good idea. But then he started going through my bag and found my passport in there and flipped out. I tried to say I was being overly cautious and pack anything we might need, but he wasn't buying it. He started yelling, asking me if I was planning on leaving him. I said no. He called me a liar. I had never seen him so angry before. I turned and started to walk away when he got in my face like I sometimes do to try and de-escalate. But he grabbed me by the hair and neck and pulled me. Somehow, I managed to get out of his grip and ran to the bathroom, closed the door and locked it. He started banging on the door, telling me to come out, screaming obscenities and threats. He was kicking the door and trying to break it down. I didn't have my phone on me, so I couldn't call the police. The neighbors must have heard all the banging and screaming because I was told someone on the street called to report a disturbance. Eventually, the police arrived, arrested him, and took me to the hospital. I am at the hospital. I was admitted to be monitored for my blood pressure. Thankfully, my baby is okay. I have been visited by a social worker, hospital counselor, and my OBGYN, who got my voicemail and called to report it first thing this morning only to find out I was at the hospital. I was informed I got a spot at a women's shelter and will be moved there when I am discharged, and a caseworker will be assigned to me. Thank you all for your messages of support, love, and kindness you've sent my way. My baby and I owe you our lives. Minor update. My posts were deleted. I am typing this to explain the post's disappearance. For those who have been following my story and updates, I received a message from the mods saying I was banned for violating the community rules on the sub. I double-checked and it seems I missed the rule on posting updates 48 hours apart at minimum. I think that's why I was banned. It is unfortunate that they are gone, as there was a lot of good advice in the comments which could have been helpful to others in similar situations.